the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real itself. My eye can see the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real itself. My eye can see the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. Money. That's all you got to be wealthy. I know you like Kanye West said, having money is not everything, not having it is. No, Deuteronomy 8:18 says God gives us the ability to create wealth. It's the love of money that's you know, money so much, right? You got to go to work. I'm just trying to leave a legacy for money. It's not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. And now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health network, the working class, Mr. H Cortez.
Good morning, and welcome to Talking Money in the Morning Live with your main man, H Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the working class, where I do my absolute best to bring practical yet proven wealth building strategies to working class men and women all over this great nation of ours. It is truly an honor, privilege, and a blessing to be able to come to you guys each and every morning. I so thank you guys for tuning in, coming to hang out with your man each and every morning. I love you guys. I see some of the same beautiful faces over and over and over again. It tells me that you guys appreciate me as well. I love that D says, good morning. I am so glad I'm up the day after Christmas with no worries on how I'm going to pay off what I spent. Man, do you know what I'm talking about? I know what you mean, D. We're talking about no credit cards, no payday loans, no overspending, just creating a budget, sticking to that budget, and when Christmas is over, life moves on. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. Today we're talking about if not now, when? What the heck are you waiting for? Right? What are you waiting for to start building that empire of yours? So we're going to talk about 5 things or 5 ways that you can get more done and overcome procrastination. Also, guys, today is going to be an abbreviated show. We'll probably go just about 30 minutes. And the reason that is because today kicks off is the beginning of the Normandy Holiday Invitational Basketball Tournament. You guys know that my company, All Amateur Sports Network, is covering a big basketball tournament here in St. Louis. So I'm excited about that and have to go get prepared. So we'll do an abbreviated show this morning. But remember, you can always go to Stitcher.com to download the podcast of any previous shows that you may have missed. Some of the archives are up and running over there. So I think I might have about 12 or 13 episodes uploaded over there, so you can definitely go check that out. But let's get the show started, man. Just in case you stumbled upon this show on accident, I'd like to let you know exactly who this show is for. This show is for my risers and grinders only. If you're ready to get up, get out, and get something, this is your show this morning. If you are the type of person who wants to build a family empire, you want to leave a legacy, you want to leave a mark and not a stain on this world, this is your show. If you, my friend, are checking us out on Facebook and you are serious about building wealth, maybe you have the desire and the discipline, but you lack a game plan, maybe you need some tips, some strategies, a mentor, a coach, a community of people that will help you get that thing done, and this show, my friend, is for you. If you're like me, went to bed last night just like I do every night, and I'm thinking about what am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do the next day, the day after that, next month, next year, next 5 years, to make sure that my great-great-great-grandchildren are proud to bear my name? Then this show is for you. On the other hand, who is this show not for? If you are the type of person who can't stand the fact that I just mentioned the word money about 12 times in the last 10 seconds, this show is not for you. If you are that person who's got that weird relationship with money where you think money is evil, capitalism is a dirty word, you think wealthy people are jerks, this isn't your show, man, because I can guarantee you, when you have that kind of relationship with money, you tend to repel money away from you instead of attracting money to you. And everybody who listens to this show is attracting money, abundance, prosperity, peace, love, joy, all of those good things into their lives, because that's how we see the world. If that's not you, then this is not your show. If you're the type of person sitting back waiting on Donald Trump to fix the economy instead of focusing on your economy, this ain't your show, man. Point blank, period. But let me be clear about something. I don't have a problem with you not wanting to be wealthy. I only have a problem with you having a problem with me wanting to be wealthy, right? So if you're comfortable where you are, maybe you hit all your goals in life, that's cool, right? But if, so don't let my aspirations to be a billionaire rub you the wrong way. Just get out of my way if that's not you, right? So if that's not you, you can exit state left and we won't hold anything against you. And like I tell you each and every morning, if you've never seen a future billionaire before, and yes, that's billion with a B, then I want you to take a screenshot, hold me to it, because I am going to get this thing done. And you can stand on the sideline and cheer against me or cheer for me, makes me know never mind. But what I advise you to do is get in the game with me. Today's show is brought to you by Young Biz Kids. Young Biz Kids is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that promotes positive, diverse, and creative ways to teach entrepreneurship to kids. Their vision is to empower youth through entrepreneurship and philanthropy while developing leaders within the community. Young Biz Kids offers a variety of programs to cover the many interests of today's kids. Learn how to get your kids involved by visiting the website www.youngbizkids.org. Young Biz Kids, leaders of tomorrow. Guys, do me a huge favor. I forgot to mention, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. Also, grab this link and share it on your favorite social media platform, whether it's LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, wherever you like to share links. Do that favor for me. And if you guys are checking this out on Facebook, do the same thing. Share this stream on your timeline. Chances are you know people who are struggling with procrastination. You know people who are trying to be more action-oriented in 2017. Share the stream and make sure you guys follow so you get notifications when I pop up and do the different broadcasts and things that I do throughout the day. And also do me this huge favor. I'm going to be coming to you guys live and direct all day, every day for the next 4 days from the Normandy Holiday Invitational Basketball Tournament. So if you haven't gone over to All Amateur Sports Network, please, please, please hustle over there, like the channel, subscribe to the feed, so that as I bring you live coverage from some of the best basketball in St. Louis, even Chicago, Memphis, and Indiana, because we got some teams coming from Chicago, Memphis, and Indiana to show their stuff and see if they can take home the crown of the Normandy Holiday Invitational in its 83rd year. So with that, let's get on to today's show, guys. Today, we're talking about procrastination. If not now, when? Guys, we've all had these excuses. We've all heard these excuses time and time again. Man, when my children get old and get out the house, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. When this divorce is final, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. When I settle down and get me a wife, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. When my children just get out of that toddler stage, once my children get old enough to go to school, then I'm going to do X, Y, Z. Excuses, excuses, excuses. My son has a football coach that says excuses are useless, and that's one of his favorite quotes, because they really are. What can you do with an excuse, right? And what I like to do with people is, instead of making excuses or valid excuses or giving explanations, I like to say something off the wall, right? Because it don't matter what you say. If you don't want to do something, then what you say don't matter. You're just not going to do it. So we're talking about, if not now, when? When are you going to start taking action? I know so many people who've been saying for years that they're going to start their own business, develop their own product, start their own services. And the funny thing about it is, they have some wonderfully creative, they have found some niches and some voids that need to be filled, and they're not filling them because they just won't get started. You guys may have heard it said that it's the start that stops most people, and that is so true. That is so true. That's why I'm Mr. Gung-Ho. I promise you guys, I say I'm going to do something, and before the words finish coming out of my mouth, I've already started to do it. Because I know that it's too easy to start talking yourself out of doing things. Guys, we're about to wrap up 2016 and go into 2017. We don't want to go into 2017 with the same procrastination mindset. We want to go into 2017 with the attitude of getting things done. How do we get things done in 2017? So we're going to talk about a couple things, and I have a book that I want to recommend. I don't have the author, so I might have to look that up for you guys. But we're going to talk about 5 things to help you be more effective and efficient in getting things done. How do you get things done and stop procrastination? Because again, it's the start that stops most people, right? So just like you need a goal, we did a show on setting SMART goals and things of that nature. Then we're going to go from number 5 all the way up. Now, I got this particular list from my man MyEcon.com. So he is a blogger and an entrepreneur, and he writes on things like this, time management and all that good stuff. So MyEcon.com, if you want to go check out the source and read his take on it. I'm going to give you my take on his 5 bullet points. And number 1, tackle the most difficult tasks first. Tackle the most difficult tasks first. Now, there's 2 schools of thoughts on this, right? I use the flip side of this when it comes to dealing with money and getting out of debt. So one school of thought says, if I do the little small things first, then that's going to give me a sense of accomplishment, and then I'm going to keep moving up the ladder till I tackle the big thing. So I use that when it comes to getting out of debt. I tell people, take all of your debts and write them down, and then the smallest debt that you can pay off, let's pay that one off first, because you're going to feel that sense of accomplishment. You're going to be motivated to pay off the next one, and you create that positive snowball effect. That doesn't work so much when it comes to doing tasks. The reason is, when we have that huge elephant of a task in the room that we don't want to tackle, what happens is when you do the small task first, you start creating 1,000 other little small tasks to keep from doing the big task, right? And that big task just never gets done. So number 1, I want you to always look at the biggest task in the room on your list. Tackle that thing first, right? If you tackle that one first, now think about the sense of accomplishment that you're going to have. Now think about how motivated you're going to be to get all of those little ancillary things done. Super powerful strategy, guys. Tackle the biggest thing first, because that's the one that's holding you up. That's the one that's got you scared. That's the one that's keeping you from starting, right? Tackle that one first. Get that one out of the way. Then you're going to feel extremely good about yourself, and you're going to tackle all the little things. You're going to knock those out of the park, man, with no problem, with ease. So tackle the biggest thing first, guys. Stop letting that thing scare you. And I promise you, for me, I always take the biggest thing on my list and I just get started right away, because I'm the type of person that I never like to let a job go unfinished. So if I tackle the biggest thing first, then tackling that biggest thing first, and since I don't like to let a job get unfinished, just by starting that, then I'm going to follow through and finish it all the way to the end. So I want you guys to think about that and how that can shift the way that you can go into 2016 or 2017 getting more things done. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2, divide and conquer. Divide and conquer, right? So what does that mean? If you have this big task done or to do, then stop looking at it in its totality and you split that thing up. So for instance, I know I got a lot of yard work to do. I got a front yard, I got a backyard, I got to rake the leaves and cut the grass. I said, I got to get all of this done in 2 hours. So I started dividing and conquering. Okay, how can I efficiently get all of this done? So I started splitting the tasks up. Bam, rake the grass in both the front and backyard first. Rake the leaf, get that stuff out the way. Then I'm gonna come back to the front yard, because that breaks up the job, gives me a little something different to do. And then I'm gonna cut the grass in the front. Then I'm gonna move to the back. Then once I have all the leaves bagged up from the back, then final thing I'm gonna do is move all the leaves to the curb so that the yard waste folks can come pick that up. So start to look at that big task and say, yes, it's big. I'm going to get started, and then I'm going to divide it up into smaller pieces, right? Divide and conquer, and just move through that thing and attack it with fierceness and vengeance, right? Got to be more action oriented, guys. The people who are having success in this world are people who are getting things done. Those are the action takers. Those are not the people who are sitting back waiting on the perfect time, because how many of you guys know the perfect time will never be perfect? You're sitting at the light and you're saying, I'm not going to move until I know that all the lights down the street are going to be green at the same time. How many of you guys know none of that's never going to happen? So if you're waiting on the perfect set of circumstances before you make a move, you will be stuck in a permanent mannequin challenge. I promise you that, because there's no such thing as a perfect set of circumstances. Right? We talked about that a little bit earlier. Oh, as soon as my kids get old enough to get into school, I'll be able to put them off in school, and then I'll be able to do things throughout the day. As soon as my kids go off to college, then I'm going to be able to start my business. Right? As soon as my kids go into high school, then they'll be more independent. Then I can start doing more on my own. No, because once you are afraid to do something, you will continue to find other things to put in that place to keep you from doing what it is you want to do. So when your kids get old enough to go to school and you're supposed to be starting your business, you'll find something else to put in that place to keep you from starting your business. So what happens is, if you just get started now, then you start making room for whatever it is that you're doing, and you'll start cutting some things out, fitting some things in, and then all of a sudden you're more productive. So divide and conquer, right? Number 3, set a midday alarm. Set a midday alarm. What that means is, if you set a midday alarm, I mean a literal alarm that goes off every day at a certain time, and when that alarm goes off, you want to look back over the first half of the day and see how much action you've taken, right? This is an accountability thing, holding yourself accountable. All right, set a midday alarm. Now, this is something new to me. I have never learned this. I didn't know about this one. I'm going to start using this one this week, right? Set a midday alarm. So when that alarm goes off, look at your list of things you said you were going to get done. If you're not halfway done, then you're playing games. And that might mean literally playing games, right? Right? Because I know sometimes as an internet marketer, I'm supposed to be using my social media platforms to build my business. But sometimes I'm playing around on those social media platforms. And you got to get out of that habit, guys. And I'm not saying that it's an easy thing to do, but I am saying it's something that you literally have to work on. So set a midday alarm. That alarm goes off. Look at your game plan for the day and say, okay, these are the things that I wanted to get done today. If I'm not halfway finished, that means I wasn't as effective as I should have been today. And then don't beat yourself up over the head. Just say, you know what, these next 4 hours or the next half of my day, I'm going to double time. I'm going to get more done to make up for my slack in the first half of the day, right? So you want to make sure that you set that midday alarm and then track your progress. So half the day has gone by, then I get half the things on my list done. All right. Number 4 is dedicate yourself short periods of time. So, and when we break the task up, then give yourself a time to get them done. Now, be realistic with your time. So if I said I'm going to rake the leaves in the front and the backyard and cut the grass within 2 hours, I'm saying, okay, that means based on the size of my yard and how I'm able to move efficiently and the tools that I have, whether I have help or not, I'm able to get all the leaves raked up in about 45 minutes. Okay, and then in 45 minutes, I'm going to start on cutting the front yard. And then it's going to take me about 30 minutes to cut the front yard. And then the rest of the time, I'm going to bang out the backyard and then get everything moved to the front yard for the yard waste people to pick it up. And then the last 5 minutes is just me sweeping up, picking up my tools, putting all my tools away, and I'm done. So start giving yourself a time block. Now, especially if you have tasks that will take you, a few days to do, right? And you got other tasks that you need to be getting done. Maybe you don't plow through that one task in one day. Maybe you say, you know what? This entire project will take about 10 hours. I'm not going to be able to give 10 hours to it today. What I'm going to do, though, is give 2 hours per day for the next 5 days to get it done. So you give yourself a time block to get certain things done, and then you stick to that time block. And guess what? When the 2 hours are up, I don't care where you are in the process of that project, you stop and you cut it off. You be disciplined, and then you move on to the next thing on your list, and then you come back to it the next day and you give yourself another 2 hour block. And that's how you get that bigger project done over the course of a week. So dedicate yourself short periods of time as you're working through your tasks, and say, you know what, this task should take me 30 minutes to do. So let me see if I can bang it out in 30 minutes. And you put that little bit of pressure on yourself so that you can stay focused, right? Stay focused on one task at a time and get it done, and then move on to the next. And then the final thing that you want to do, number 5, again, this came from michaelhyatt.com. He writes a blog and does videos on time management. As an entrepreneur, we know that time is our biggest asset, but time can also be our biggest liability, in the sense if we don't manage it properly, if we're not efficient as we can be with our time, we won't get as much done. And for me, if I don't get enough done, time is money for me as a entrepreneur. I don't have a day job. I'm a full-time entrepreneur. So if I'm not efficient and effective with my time and my businesses, I don't make any money. Right? And if I don't make any money, we can't eat. You can't pay any bills, can't keep the lights on. So I have to learn how to become more efficient with my time. And that's my goal for 2017, is that all of the stuff that I do, if I become more efficient with my time, I literally can do twice as much. And that's a scary thought. All of the stuff that I do already, if I become more efficient with my time, I could literally do twice as much. And probably, I wouldn't say half the time, I would say a little over half the time, right? And that's scary, because I get a lot of stuff done, but sometimes I'm all over the place. So I want to be able to get a lot more done in 2017. So instead of it taking me 5 hours to do everything I need to do, if I become more efficient and effective using some of these strategies in my life, I know I can get the same amount of stuff done or more in 2.5 hours, right? So that's the name of the game for me. So I'll recap really quickly, and then we'll do number 5. So number 4 was tackle the most difficult task first. That's the one that you're dancing around. So hell, stop dancing. Jump right on that thing and get it knocked out of the park. Number 2, divide and conquer. See that big thing. Okay, here's the totality of everything that I need to get done on this project. It's a big project. Now, how do I cut it up into small bite-sized chunks so that I can get it done, right? Number 3, set a midday alarm, right? This is going to be so good for me, because it brings you back to task. So even if you had a day where you kind of played around and you lollygagged and didn't get everything done, that midday alarm goes off. You look up and say, oh crap, I was supposed to get this. I was supposed to get 10 things done. By midday, I got 2 things done. Or I supposed to get 10 things done today. I've only got 2 things done. That's not halfway, and half my day's gone. So that midday alarm should motivate you to kick into high gear, to get yourself refocused. And if you want to start setting alarms for the little tasks that you do, because number 5 is dedicate a short amount of time. So if you say, you know what, I'm going to write a blog post today, and I'm not going to spend 2 hours writing a blog. I'm going to get a 30-minute blog done. You might set the timer for 30 minutes. Say, here's what I'm going to do, set this blog. You might be like me. I do a lot of networking via Facebook. I do a lot of chatting and communicating with my team. I might say, I'm going to dedicate 45 minutes to do that today. And I set an alarm. And as many people as I can communicate with, network with, set appointments and all that kind of stuff with in 45 minutes, that's when I make my cutoff and I move on to the next thing. So start putting timestamps on everything that you do so that you can become more efficient. And then number 5 is use a calendar in conjunction with your to-do list. Use a calendar in conjunction with your to-do list. And I can't wait. I'm going to get me, I used to try to use a little calendar in my phone, not working, right? Not working. So I'm going to go get me a Cubby day planner. so that I can just pull that, and I'm getting a big one too. I'm not getting one of them little small ones. I'm getting a big one, so I can pull that thing out and start organizing my day a lot better, man. Because again, time is our most valuable and most precious asset. If we're not managing it well, then we can let some time get away from us, and we could literally start getting more done if we become more efficient with our time. So really quickly, I'm going to do a quick search for the book title and author that I used in the past. I'm actually going to go get that because that's one I'm going to read again. And I should have known the author. So this one is by Brian Tracy, and it's called Eat That Frog. Eat That Frog. Great book on time management, how to stop procrastination in its track. Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, right? Eat That Frog. And it's basically just about how you can do just this. Stop procrastination, manage your time a little bit better, some hints, some tips, some tricks on becoming more productive so that you can get more out of your day, especially those of you who are working a job in conjunction with building a business on the side so that you can escape the rat race. Well, you want to be as efficient and as effective as you can with your time, because guess what? Yes, you have a full-time job. Yes, you're trying to build a business on the side, but yes, you also have a family. You also have other obligations. And that's where I kind of get in trouble with my wife is, especially when I was working a job, I would get up every morning, put in about 2 hours in my business before I went to work. I would come home after work, on my lunch break at work, I would put in about 45 minutes. At home, after work, I would put in a little time before I go to basketball practice because I coach youth basketball. And then after basketball practice, I would come in and put in another couple hours. And I did that regularly for almost 2 years. And, you know, every now and then my wife has to say, you know what, you ain't seen me lately. Meaning I haven't connected with her and given her the time because I got so caught up in building. My children, same thing. All right. I'm struggling because I ain't had a conversation with you, Pops. We need to, you know, slow down and get on the same page every now and then. So you have to learn if you can become more efficient in your time and your business. And get more done, because I would always feel like when I walked away from my task for the day, I didn't get enough done because I wasn't as efficient. But if I start increasing my efficiency, and then when I close my laptop and I put in 2 hours worth of work, I know I've got 2 solid hours worth of work in. I've done a lot for my business, and I can walk away comfortable knowing that, hey, I had a list of 10 things done to do on my list, and I did 12 things today. So now my business isn't pulling at me when I'm supposed to be having family time, when I'm supposed to be sitting and enjoying my kids play ball or whatever it is, and listen to my son sing in his concerts and things of that nature. So 2017, I'm becoming more efficient and effective. I'm going to manage my time better. I'm challenging you guys to do the same thing. You guys know that billionaires read or devour about 5 books per month, and that is my goal for 2017. One of those books is going to be Eat That Frog, Brian Tracy. Time management, I'm going to get into Dr. Claude Anderson's Powernomics books. So those will be on order and arriving soon. And then I'm probably going to get, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That's another good one to get into when it comes to managing your time, breaking up your day, man, getting the most out of your time. Because here's what's funny about time, guys. It's our most valuable and our most precious asset. And then I've got to go because I said it's going to be an abbreviated show because I got to go get ready for covering the basketball tournament. But here's what's funny about time. I want you to really think about this. The reason you want to get the most out of every second, every minute, every hour of every day is because when it comes to time, none of us know exactly how much of it we have left. So the last thing I want to do is waste any of it not living, waste any of it playing around. I'm trying to get to 1 billion as fast as possible so that I can ensure that while I'm on this earth, I create that legacy for my children and now my children's children, so we can literally stop the end poverty immediately, in my family. And then once I put the fire out in my house, I can go help my neighbors put the fire out in their house, and then collectively we can come together and put the fire out in the community. So guys, let's stop wasting time. Let's stop letting fear hold us back. Let's stop making all of these excuses to keep from doing the very thing that we know intrinsically that we should be doing, because we've all got that homing beaker to what our purpose is on this earth. And you're steady procrastinating about starting that business. You're steady procrastinating about writing that book. You're steady procrastinating about getting on that stage, being a public speaker. And that's what your purpose is. That's where you're supposed to be doing. That's where your mission is. And guess what? As I say all the time, your provision is wrapped up in your purpose. If you're not walking in your purpose, that could be why you're struggling to attain your provisions. Your provisions is in your purpose. Not saying that you can't go outside of your purpose and get a job and start working, but that could be why you're working extremely hard on a job that's not paying you enough, and you're struggling to take care of yourself financially. Because if you are walking in your purpose, then chances are you'd have an abundance. See, God created a system that when everybody's walking in their purpose, then you have an abundance of blessing and overflow. Your cup runneth over, so that as your cup runneth over, you can take that overflow and bless others. But when you're not in your purpose, sometimes you don't have an abundance, you don't have a reserve, you don't have, you don't put yourself in position to have that overflow. So you can't be a cheerful giver. It's hard to bless other people when you're barely making it yourself. So with that, guys, again, today's sponsor for the show is Young Biz Kids. Go to youngbizkids.org, and that's kids with a Z. If you want to get your kid involved in entrepreneurship, and especially if you're in the St. Louis area, because we're here locally, Young Biz Kids is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that provides positive, diverse, and creative ways to teach entrepreneurship to kids. The vision is to empower the youth through entrepreneurship and philanthropy while developing leaders within the community. Young Biz Kids offers a variety of programs to cover the many interests of today's kids. Learn how to get your kid involved at their website, www.youngbizkids.org. That's Young Biz Kids, Leaders of Tomorrow. I'm your man, H Cortez, financial health mentor to the working class. Until I talk to you tomorrow, I want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. Even though tomorrow is an abbreviated show, I'm going to tackle what I know about the school to prison pipeline. Some new legislation just came out, guys, that is going to make school fights felonies. So now they're already shuffling our kids, especially our boys, off from school straight to juvenile camps and prisons. Now, if they make every school fight a felony, imagine how many more of our children are going to be bussed off to jail instead of to college. So we're going to tackle that a little bit tomorrow. Maybe we'll do a 2 or 3 part series on that, because I may not be able to get that done in 30 minutes. So stay tuned for that. I'm your man, H Cortez, financial health mentor to the working class. And until I talk to you tomorrow, I want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. Peace out, people. Love you guys.